Welcome back, this time with my microphone turned on.
Stowed.
That should work a little better. So, where was I? Yes. Yes, welcome back to Nosetools, where we dealt with last time our inconvenient Forgotten Beast problem. The Forgotten Beast is now somewhere down in the caverns, I think. Oops. Ben tries to remember what collection of modifiers he wants. There it is. There's our Forgotten Beast somewhere. No, that's still the wrong set of buttons. Sorry, I keep pressing the wrong buttons and they don't do anything useful. Somewhere down there, there's our Forgotten Beast, skinless gecko job. We had a slight water leak caused by realising that we'd run out of bedrooms, and so I tried to dig out this layer, only it turns out that actually the water can totally leak in through the limestone walls. So we now have a bunch of water here, which now isn't leaking down this staircase anymore, but that did cause us to discover that this square here didn't actually have a floor, and so the water was pouring down into the caverns down here. We've now fixed that, but that of course now means that if we do get another water leak, then this is where the water's going to end up and it will start flooding the lower bedrooms, and that would be unfortunate. So I was kind of wondering if we could fix that. And it occurred to me that there is a standard piece of technology for when you want to let the water out of somewhere without letting noxious gases from below in, which is a U-bend. Hence the title of today's stream. So I think I want to build, if I can find the space, some kind of a U-bend underneath this room that will catch any water that comes down and let it out without letting anything, either creature or unpleasant substance that might be in the caverns, into our fortress. I think Dwarf Fortress has good enough hydrostatics that this will work correctly, yes. Whether we've got enough vertical clearance above the cavern floor is another matter. Right, no, actually we can dip below the cavern floor, can't we? We just need the discharge to be at cavern floor level or higher. So I think I have a kind of plan that I should attempt to dig out something that will practically allow water to drain safely from this level without letting creatures from the caverns in, and I think I can do that. So I think I'm going to start work on that. Which I think means we start by digging a down staircase here, where there is solid rock beneath us. Well, the plan is that we're not embarking on a construction project in the caverns. The idea is that the construction project merely discharges into the caverns. So I think this should be safe. I think the only thing we do that touches the caverns is to carve fortifications. And yes, as you say, they're really fast at construction compared to firing siege weapons, for instance. Actually, I do have some plans for the siege weapons as well. I'm sure we can make them work if we just try hard enough. So let's see. We want to down. I think it's safe for us to build this out of staircases rather than empty shafts, and that makes it much easier and safer for the dwarves to get around in there. So I think we at the very least want to downstair there. And probably an up down there. So we're going to need, so that level we should generally keep, hang on, let's just take it all the way down here. I mean, it's perfectly safe for us to make this slightly extravagantly complicated, deep, I suppose. So we could go all the way down to here. And then horizontally to see, where's the discharge going to be? We really want a... We can't go safely in that direction. We can't go safely... Yeah, we probably want to go around a corner. It's not like the corner's going to be a difficult thing to handle. So horizontally to there. No, not at that level. X. Cancel that down there. To there, but actually that wants to be an up stair. Then we make that an up down stair. That a down stair, and then that fortifications, which apparently we can't do until we've dug all the rest out. That's fine. Oh no, we have to smooth that. Yes, we'll wait, leave the digging until later. I mean, we've got quite a lot of vertical in this because I want to make sure that there isn't any, that we've got, like, we don't have any odd edge cases where it turns out that something is slightly too full or what have you. Right, so that can be set going in due course. Right, I also had a thought about my my siege operators, one of which was I should stop them doing pretty much anything else, because the last thing we want is them getting distracted from siege operating. In particular, we don't want them getting distracted from siege operating by, for instance, going and collecting spare the fired arrows and bringing them back to the stockpile. We want someone else to go and fetch the arrows, and for the siege operators to just operate the siege engine. Yes, I haven't actually read the wiki pages with major spoilers, but I have once had a fort get actually into hell. That was an entertaining experience. I did actually manage to purge my fortress of demons. That was a particularly entertaining manoeuvre. In that I had a big open shaft down the centre of my... Yes, I know that hell exists, and I have penetrated it and been invaded by demons. So, like, I don't think you've actually said anything that I haven't already known about. I just haven't read all the details on the wiki. Because, like, I'm fairly sure... I'm quite happy to learn things by rumour, for instance, by reading other people's tales of, etc. So, yes, I've... The occasion when I penetrated hell and filled almost my entire fortress with demons. Well, actually, I mostly filled my main a central staircasey shaft with demons. And the entertaining thing was that I had some space above it, and so I was able to construct a cave-in trap above it, and basically drop a 3x3 patch of floor down my central shaft, and I managed to do it at a time when all the demons were in the central shaft, and it killed them all successfully, and I think sealed the opening at the bottom simultaneously. So yes, that was quite impressive when I managed it. Oh, I've got a slice of cake here I could be eating while I'm waiting. Yes. I shall try to remember to turn the microphone off while I'm eating. And perhaps more importantly, back on afterwards. We have one of those entertaining moments where a corridor reaches a point where you can dig in two different directions, and so a second dwarf who is currently miles away gets assigned to the job of digging out one of the other squares. Or in this case an elf, because we have elf miners in our fortress. Elf miners who still insist that they are poets. Because this one is like a master poet, but only a proficient miner. Eventually, that elf is going to become a master miner, and or indeed a legendary miner, and cease being able to pretend that poetry is their main job. Still the same person doing that. No, it's a different one. Right, you similarly are getting everything that isn't siege engineering turned off. Then we are going to have to find somewhere to put some more bedrooms, which is going to probably involve me understanding my staircase set up a little better. This poet must be a terrible miner. They're going very slowly. Merely a dabbling miner. Yes, I must have gone, I desperately need another miner. So, a poet who's a grandmaster poet and dabbling miner, but is currently wielding a pickaxe.
Littering with players of Merfolk can have such great aptitudes in it, and if you start as a spellcaster, you take back 1 billion years to see it hold on, because the random number generator hates you. This is tradition.
Right, so now I've scheduled smoothing this one square. Actually, I could probably make it slightly prettier, couldn't I? I could smooth a little run off them and then. And then then I need to carve those into fortifications, which will let the water out. But fortifications are indestructible by creatures, but gases can get through them. So then what we do is we fill this with water so that the gases can't get through the water, and we hope no one releases water-soluble gases into our thing. That too. Then yes, there will then be a short delay while we fill this with water, which will involve a lot of running around with buckets. Well, we're currently digging some things, and I'm occasionally checking who's operating the cache bolt in order to make sure that they're correctly configured.
Select hide host or unfollow. It's not quite obvious.
Presumably this is someone who's not yet much good as a siege operator. So, where is your... You should be quite early, surely. You're actually so useless as a siege... Oh, novice siege operator, right, yes. Right. Well, keep practicing, you lot. Okay, oh, you've got up to adequate, and that's made you become a primarily a siege operator. Excellent. Admittedly, you seem to be uncertain how to drink. Right, so have we smoothed those walls yet? Not quite. These are not very good. Yeah, legendary Mark Dwarf, but only an adept engraver, because we lost our best engraver.
I am now reading GameFAQs walkthrough for The Hobbit for the Spectrum.
What?
So once we've engraved this, right, now we go designate carve fortifications across there. So now our engraver will now, all being well, come back again. No, they've got distracted by some other engraving, by some other smoothing. Maybe we should make that a higher priority job down here. Oh no, so people are coming down to do it. Good. So yes, we gained a few bedrooms down here, but they're kind of a bit undersized owing to
With what ingress problem?
no, owing to the caverns being in the way. And I don't really want to try to build out into the caverns right now, given the creature in the caverns. So two of the three squares engraved. All three squares engraved. Right. So now we probably want to put a grating over that. Since that's actually in a room that people visit quite a lot, I'm kind of tempted to remove the grating from our sand pit and install a new one. Because our sand pit has this rather nice human bone grate, this rather nice artifact grate made out of human bones, and having that in the sand pit is, I mean, it's better than many places we could put it, but I think putting it in a corridor would be even better. So I think we should remove that grate and install a more boring one in that square, and take the exciting one down and put that in the U-bend, well, at the entrance to the U-bend. That is utterly critical that any drainage system have some means of stopping people falling into it. 'Cause they will.
If you find out about Robertson, you can knock him in the shoulder for this.
Could do with someone turning up and cleaning that square.
Is it covered in blood?
Yes. Well, it's at the bottom of the stairs, and all of the stuff, all of the contaminants on the stairs and nearby got washed down it.
Gravity's going to gravity.
Yes. Conveniently, there are no awkward rocks down that staircase that need clearing out.
Oh. Seems like a reasonable.
Come on, there must be an item, a furniture hauler somewhere to deal with that. Just have a quick check for anyone surprising. We appear to have caught an undead cow. Well, we should probably actually hurl that into the pit. Also, there seems to be a random corpse lying around in our burial area, which probably wants fixing. There is a cage. Where's the caged undead cow? I think the cow may have starved to death because we hadn't actually put it in a pasture. Right, that one into the pit, please. Our Mark's dwarves are doing a reasonable job. They appear to have successfully re-killed a cat.
Yeah, you just have to make it, not come back again.
They may have managed to take its head off or something, which will fix that.
Well, but you don't get tails, not have to.
That's true. That's not right.
Not destroying the building, we're just dismantling the building.
That's a great job.
Right, thank you. Put a new floor grate in here. I'm sure we must have a glass one in stock. I'll put Strodno Duzman in here instead. Where everyone will admire it as they go past and it will make them happy. Because obviously a grate made of human bones is a thing that will cheer you up.
Oh, as long as the human bones are good walk, that's fine.
Oh, plenty of our staff, plenty of our citizens are human or elf or goblin. We have quite a diverse citizenry because we keep accepting any of our visiting performers into the fortress. I mean, this does mean about 50% of our fortress is made out of poets. Yes, I mean, at some point I should possibly start saying no to bards again, but... Right, is someone going to install this? Right, there's someone installing the floor grate right now. Right, so now we have a floor grate there, and the water, any water that leaks in will pour down it. The only slight problem is that at the moment it's connected to the caverns, so at least in theory gas and dust can get in, plus we haven't tested it. Oh dear, another naked mole dog has gone wild.
I'd like to point out from 8 million, Doctor Who episodes, why it's a bad idea not to test your pieces of major...
That's why I'm about to test it.
Yep.
But first there's a naked mole dog to kill. Well, I mean, we could trap it and tame it again, but my current position is we don't need more pets, we've got cats. Plus this gives people a chance to have some fun hunting it. Splot. No, it's not splotted yet. Splot. There.
Have you heard of Zectronics?
I think so. As a game company?
Yeah,
Tis 100
Yeah,
and
that's the bunny.
yes.
The true
Yes.
function of Zachtronics games is to give me something a lot like work to do when I'm trying not to do work in my holidays.
Really, my work is. I suppose if you actually do hideously constrained assembly language programming, maybe Tis 100 is a bit like that.
Yeah.
Right. I want to. Place a pit. Oh. Am I not allowed to make it a pit/pond if it has a grate in it? That might be a problem. Okay. One moment while I look things up in the wiki. Because, like, I could work this all out, but let's just look up ponds. Ramp or hole with adjacent. So that suggests that it actually has to be open space, which is obviously dangerous, yes. So that probably means we can't make it either a downstair or a grate, so we need to make something slightly more complicated. This is not actually a problem. Let's dig a downstair in the adjacent square and up. Oh no, not in that square, sorry. That will make a hole in the wall. That square is safe, isn't it? Yes. Downstair in that square. Upstair in that square. Downstair in that square. And then we'll put another grating and then temporarily remove the grating so we can remove the downstairs from this square. Right, complicated. See, I can't say no to bards. Something like that, yes. Oh, we've got another... We've now got an undead pig. Well, I suppose that's only to be expected, really. And an undead water buffalo. Yeah, you're going in the pit too. We haven't invented cannon yet, so the bards can't be cannon fodder. We've invented ballistae, but, like... we don't actually fire people from them. No one else has a ballista. What's that random weapon left there? Someone, stop leaving your nice bronze pick lying around. In particular, because I don't want to end up losing the bronze pick down the U-bend. See, now the pick's fallen down there. I don't want it there. This is one of those occasions when I set up a tiny stockpile whose sole purpose is to cause someone to pick up a single object. And I'm assuming picks are a kind of weapon. Yes. Right. A bronze pick stockpile. She keeps slipping into depression. Right, the bronze pick has now been hauled up into the special bronze pick stockpile, which we can thus turn off again. So now I can presumably mark this as a pond. Right, and now people will start filling it with water while we install floor grates and such like around it. We'll eventually stick a floor grate over it, but we want it filled with water first. And for that it needs to be able to be designated as a pond. There we go, someone has just tipped some water in there. I hope that 4 squares is small enough that it won't all evaporate. Maybe we'll have to make some more buckets if it is. So our dwarf poet, weird zombie person, is departing sadly. Presume we're still in the state of everyone is desperately hauling rubbish in from the surface, which I told them to haul in. It looks like a bunch of things that I surely should have marked for dumping are not currently marked for dumping. Though, to be fair, maybe these are people who've turned up more recently and have died fairly recently and still need to be dumped into the magma. Yeah, I mean, actually, this hillside here was completely full of corpses before, wasn't it? And it's not now. It seems to be mostly full of scrolls. Or are those musical instruments? No, scrolls and musical instruments. Mostly musical instruments, but there are also some scrolls. I think there is a slight bug somewhere in bringing scrolls into the fortress when they haven't been, like, properly delivered. Nice to see someone using the catapult. Immediately firing the catapult and then wandering off because siege engineers. Right, we now have 2 units of water down there. Let's stick the artifact grate here. Sorry, siege operators, yes. Strictly. Siege operators are the ones who actually operate the... that's sad. I think that its proper place is actually in the museum. So, can we... I wonder if we can work out... So, Anil Gashkoz has gone missing.
for it. So we're playing Articulate. What you say when you win at chess? Stoked. Born French and Lionel Rich.
That's what you say.
Well, no, it's from the strong French and.
Right, so yes, that's going to be very slowly filled with water, and I hope will be filled with water faster than the water evaporates. Green glass grate is already covered in mud, I think. Yes. Still, we'll sort that out. Good, they're still practicing with that. What date is it anyway? It's late autumn. We still haven't seen any trade caravans. So what I quite like is to be able to like dispatch people to say, look, we're totally safe now, come and trade with us.
Is anyone actually ever safe in here?
Hush, hush. We're officially totally safe.
0 days since last incident. No,
Hey, it's been... What date is it today? It's currently the 4th of Timber. The announcements may not be the best place to look for this, but... Okay, we did have someone slip into depression today. It's true.
I empathise.
Hang on, no, that's not today. I'm looking at the wrong part of the screen. That was 4 days ago, I think. 3 days ago. And like, we haven't had anyone found dead for... I mean, we found a dead pig about 2 weeks ago. It came back to life though, so then we killed it again. It got better. Oh yes, the stray cow did indeed starve because no one had bothered to like... Yes, precisely. But no one had bothered to put it into a pasture that actually grew anything. Another dead sow. I mean, nowhere in the last month of messages is there actually a dead sentient being.
Okay, that's...
See, we're doing quite well.
I mean, in other contexts I would not necessarily say that's an admirable health and safety record, but...
Given the average run of fortresses, it's fine.
Go on, we want the water level to get up to 2 so it stops evaporating. Has anyone claimed this bedroom yet? No. Actually, we should mark that bedroom for smoothing as well because it's tiny and will be better if we make it. Will be more popular if we make it smoother.
Black road.
Do we have everything there?
Should have seen.
Oh, thank you. It's a smooth.
Great. Well, you're probably going back to hiding in cupboards.
Yes.
Yes. It's an exciting time.
Yes, it feels good to see you.
Hello again. Sorry for the brief absence while we organised things here. What's going on? I'm unpausing. That's what's going on. Yes. I'm going. Where should I put more bedrooms? So where do the stairs? How do our stairs work anyway? How do stairs? Right. So we have this separate staircase that's our kind of cavern access or deep mine access staircase. I don't feel it would be appropriate to stick the bedrooms off the deep mine access. And that floor we can't use, and this floor we can't use because they both have aquifers in them. And then this floor is actually mostly empty. Maybe we should fill this one with bedrooms. I mean, they'll be fairly grotty bedrooms. This floor is mostly empty. And we could, like, get on with paving them and such like in due course. And then we could even put nice block walls in when we get really bored. Yeah, let's start digging out this and turning this floor and this layer and turning it into bedrooms. And yes, it's just made of sand, but like you can fix that in due course. It's going to be very quick to dig because it's made of sand. It probably makes it excellent training. Where is this naked bulldog that's reverted to a wild state? Right, it's one floor up from there, is it? Right. Well, anyone who's nearby, deal with that naked bulldog. I'm still under a great deal of stress. You seem mostly to be having difficulty with your praying. Partly because you have too many gods. Like, every time you pray, you're going to be praying to the wrong one. I mean, I am amused by the fact that you have 5 notable kills, of which 4 are the same zombie. 4 times. I suspect your 17 zombie troglodytes are probably not all distinct either. But, like, we really need you to be praying to Zalis. I think no. Yeah, you need... And, like... If you're not going to do useful things like praying much, then you're obviously going to have difficulties. Too many gods. I mean, technically I can just send you out of the fortress. Like, I kind of hope that you might work out how to use a temple better. how's our U-bend coming along? Right, that's now getting water actually filling it. Good. And like the gratings will be preventing anyone drowning. We can start installing beds in our sandy bedrooms. Oh, and cabinets, of course. These are new bedrooms, they come with cabinets from the start. And I think we should probably pave the floors because otherwise they're just going to get stuff growing on them. Alright, we have to pave the floors before we install the furniture. I mean, I suppose that's kind of sensible. Would use a lot of blocks if I do that though. Now let's not bother. Let's instead target these at visitors. Then we could also not bother installing cabinets in them. So, because at the moment we have a mixture of rooms assigned to the tavern and rooms assigned to citizens on each layer. I think we should make the rooms assigned to the tavern be the ones up here that are like not going to be very popular. Obviously they still need doors because oops. Well, no, more importantly, you want to make sure that things don't get into your bedrooms that shouldn't get into the bedrooms.
Right, yes.
Or you want to be able to keep things in the bedrooms that shouldn't get out of the bedrooms. Random surprise zombies. Wind scoured. No, that's Kubuk Dyke Bar. We've got too many people here. We're getting these duplicate forenames. I mean, maybe we should give Kubuk Dyke Bar some use. Oh no, they were no things available, weren't they? I'm kind of going, we've got someone else joining, we should make them into a siege operator. On general principles and nothing else. If of course I can find them in the list. Hiding again. Oh no, there. Yes. Right. Just learn siege engineering, please. Siege operating. Now we're just waiting for the U-bend to be properly filled so we can check that water poured in at the top emerges from the correct opening at the bottom and doesn't end up somewhere surprising instead. Hooray, someone is already sleeping in that bedroom. It's our old pit, isn't it? We remove that wall and we can put a floor in there and actually make it useful. So now let's start tracking down any bedroom that's assigned to the creative pumpkin and removing it from the creative pumpkin. This will take a little while. That one's assigned to the creative pumpkin. Not anymore, it isn't. Oh, isn't apparently not a bedroom at all. Right, fix that. Yes. Two. 3, 4, 5. I'm kind of keeping rough count of how many we've removed so I can give it at least that many back. 6, 7, 8. So we've removed 7 rooms from the creative pumpkin. We've given it 4 up here. So we're going to want a few more. Let's dig another 4 in the obvious places. Oops. I should eat cake in order to feel more full of cake. Oh, Stoats. Yes, forgot to turn the sound back on. Thank you.
The game is running, the sound is not re-enabled.
Yes, I fixed that.
Okay.
Oh, right. No, don't take my mason's workshop. Oh, I was just complaining that we needed... That I... don't think any of those will be a problem. That no one was building doors because they were busy building all the other things I'd asked for. And now you've stolen my mason's workshop. When am I going to get doors now, eh? Have we got enough blocks to build this floor? Yes. No, not quite. Well, it'll be built in a mixture of limestone and slate then. Yes, if you're not a bard, I'll be particularly happy for you to come and join us. Good, our moody dwarf has not yet got themselves stuck. And we're constructing this route. So this area here was our first attempt at a rubbish pit, and we've been slowly reinstating floors in the middle of it so that we can use it for other things. This is our sad dwarf who is under stress, largely due to having too many gods to pray to, as far as I can see. So yes, we're not going to have any spare doors for these bedrooms for a little while, until someone actually makes some. Can I not declare some gods anathema, it has been suggested? I don't think so. I mean, I don't think it would. In particular, I don't think it will actually help their worshippers to become unstressed. Install the over-decorated beds, because like that way other ones will start getting decorated. I mean, I can like evict the unhappy dwarf, but I feel that would be kind of rude. matter, does it, at the moment, because that's inactive. Right, so that's constructed 8 new bedrooms, and we've removed 7 from the Creative Pumpkin so far. Or at least this will be 8 once the beds have been installed, and they'll work a bit better once the doors have been installed, but I put that bed in the wrong place, didn't I? So yes, the various residents of the Creative Pumpkin will gradually move themselves up here, get grumpy that at the quality of the accommodation, probably. Except for whoever gets this room that we're currently flooring with limestone blocks, because that one will be quite nice. So let's see how many Creative Pumpkin rooms we have on this floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more, so that's going to need a lot more rooms digging out up on this up on the Creative Pumpkin bedroom level. Going to need some more beds too. And of course, it's possible if we stick them on a level that doesn't have really nice bedrooms, then they won't decide they want to become citizens. We don't know. I could, I suppose, make some doors out of glass, couldn't I, while we're waiting for the... Excellent. We have a mysterious construction underway, made out of rough tanzanite, bitter orange wood logs, more rough tanzanites, cave spider silk cloth, more rough tanzanites, pigtail cloth, pig leather, and 2 units of limestone. Let's just build a bunch of glass doors. I'm sure fitting our bedrooms with glass doors will not be a problem. Do we have a job for making beds, or do I actually have to remember to schedule those? There is currently a make me 10 more beds job underway, so that will do for now. Dig out another layer of bedrooms. usually I would go 3 out in each direction for no very good reason. Let's just mark everything I want for digging now. And then once we have some doors, I can install those. Currently, the door situation is being held up rather by a dwarf in a strange mood. Which is like nice, because this is currently someone who's a what? This is currently someone who's. Are you not even a citizen of my fort? You're blocking up one of my workshops and you don't even live here. I mean, you live here. You aren't even a citizen, so I can't even then turn you into a ludicrously high-end stone carver or mason or whatever it is you end up being. Because you're not actually someone I can give jobs to. Just checking we still have some empty coffins in case we need any. Oh, there's still forbidden items around. Yes, there are. Let's just do a quick batch reclaim of everything on the surface. In case there's anything out here that wants getting back. Alright, the reason why that's green is because it's actually under a pile of vomit. How nice. And not because it's forbidden. Let's wait for that floor to be finished before we mark that as a bedroom. So that allows us to check how many of the Creative Pumpkin's current bedrooms are actually assigned to anyone. We should possibly, while the Creative Pumpkin has no spare bedrooms, like if we have a sensible set of bedrooms dedicated to the Creative Pumpkin, namely this floor, then we could then start saying only when we actually have spare bedrooms should we let people in. That would be like sane, sensible and things. Like, no, you can't become a resident when we have no spare bedrooms. I have to wait for someone to move from being a resident to being a citizen, and hence move down into the citizen layers. We now have some more glass doors available, or some glass doors available. So start installing those. Actually, that square there is where a bed has to end up, isn't it? So let's stick one there now.
The rustling noises are still taking care of.
We'll put a door in there because that's likely to be somewhere where unhappiness will ensue if we leave it open. Right, how many beds do we have in stock? That's probably roughly enough. Don't know that was quite 8 actually. Let's quickly build a few more beds. So we need some more wood to be brought in. We really have a shortage of wood. Yes, we have a shortage of wood. It's presumably still safe to go onto the surface. Shockingly enough, yes. Okay, those are all in the pit anyway. So let's just pick some trees and cut them down. Pick ones that are reasonably far away from the fortress so that they won't accidentally leave holes in the ceiling. All the trees around here are dead anyway, so presumably the elves won't mind. Oh, there's someone moving a book. So maybe books brought in by random people do eventually get reclaimed properly. That's a boulder and not a scroll, and therefore we shouldn't expect it to be reclaimed. Just finding random corpses out here and marking them for disposal. Giant badger parchment sheet. There aren't that many corpses on the surface, to be fair, but will make people less unhappy if there are fewer. Spotted an at there. Oh no, that was actually a live dwarf. I don't need to mark live dwarves for dumping. bunch more suitably marked. Doesn't look like anyone's died over here recently. That's some slightly more attempts at disposing of dead dwarves and others. I meant build door, sorry. Nice, Baroness. I'd completely forgotten you had a mandate. Hope it wasn't one that mattered to you. I assume we've got a woodcutter somewhere. Astri Thunder Hatchet. Well, yes, you're definitely joining us. Probably got just about enough siege operators now. I feel that Thunder Hatchet should probably become a woodcutter. Sure you'll be good at that. Right. Oh yes. I might want to reorganise my things that require bones now that we don't actually appear to have infinite bones available. Sometimes we have bones, but not often. Oh, it's a cabinet, right. Well, I should try to put it in your own bedroom, shouldn't I? Logem Onulvush has created a limestone cabinet called Shetbeth Tinnerth. It's terrifyingly valuable, being as it is made out of limestone with bands of cushion-cut tanzanites, spikes of limestone and tanzanite, image of a lettuce in limestone, an image. What? Well, I suppose that's the best kind, really. On it is an image of icosahedra in pig leather. I mean, what other kind of icosahedron were you planning to find?
You can get the retro icosahedra,
Okay.
but they are icosahedra.
And an image of leg wear in pigtail. We're not going to describe this. Also, on the item is an image of a long four-sided prism in tanzanite.
Oh, that's nice. Here's the cereal packet.
Right, well, this strange object, Shetbeth Tinnerth, which was created by Logem Onulvush, do they even have a bedroom? Because I don't think they're actually a citizen of ours. He's a citizen of the Solitary Labours. Whereas, like anyone who's actually one of us, does appear as a citizen of the Stake of Echoes, which is our... Hang on, weren't we the Glove of Courtesies? Am I confused? Or is she a member of the Glove of Courtesies and a citizen of the Stake of Echoes? Yes. I don't think they go walkabout because they're made by non-citizens. Well, I'm going to install that cabinet in a bedroom anyway. More generally, I should install a batch of cabinets. Someone will be very pleased with their bedroom. Other people will be less pleased with their bedrooms as they have entirely boring cabinets in them. Okay, we've actually run out of logs.
Sneeze.
These will probably all want resizing properly once we have the doors installed and such like. But
What more of a soup stick? Oh, we should probably make a shopping list tomorrow.
What, sorry?
Shopping list. Well, we should check when.
Are you saying that when I said on Thursday I'm going shopping, anything you lost us to Wednesday, you said, no, we're okay until Wednesday, you were actually being fake?
It's quite possible, yes. We should check tomorrow. I can subsist on soup if necessary, probably. We just might not have enough mushrooms. But we have tins.
Right.
Yes?
I'm calling this dead.
Okay.
Uvash fainted, bolted. Okay. I feel that if you're going to have bolted in your name, you should obviously join our squad of Marks Dwarves. We're now out of beds because we need someone to cut down some more trees. To be fair, I think that means we're like 2 beds short of the number we need. Alright, we have plenty of trees cut down now. Let's make some more beds. Presumably this is now getting, yes, job scheduled at it again. Someone is lugging the stone in from somewhere inconvenient. So how's the filling of the U-bend going? So this level is now all full. That level has 2/7 and that level has 0/7. So let's see how the hydrostatics work. So I kind of expect that that would be enough that it would start flowing, but apparently not. And that's die cut. Let's just look through everyone who's set to no job because they usually turn up in that state. But not always. It should be a nice distinctive name because it begins with a lowercase letter for code page 437 reasons. There shouldn't be many of those. Alright, there we are. Competent spearman. Pity we have no space in any of our melee squads. Adequate soper? Well, we probably need a couple of those. Oh, indeed, you've got that enabled automatically. Well, that will do. Not more. Ah, right. I should not do that one yet. We should instead go... Does the Creative Pumpkin have any spare bedrooms? Not really. Rented rooms 14 out of 15, and that's probably just because they haven't managed to... Well, yeah. I'm going to deny that. Because I think we haven't quite got the bedrooms for it. Right, so that's beds installed or assigned to be installed in all the rooms. Probably need some more blocks actually, don't we? There we go. We apologise for the strange whistling noise, that's the plumbing. So if someone can bring up that last bed, then I'll actually probably want to install a bunch of doors still. So that has now piled up to 4 high, but there's still no water on this side. Interesting. Yeah, well, I mean, I would worry about the export ban. Except that we haven't had the ability to export anything for ages. It's late autumn and we still have no sign of, like, anyone from the mountain homes. just ask for more glass doors. We've got because they're cheap, well, free. And green glass is almost as valuable a material. Well, is as valuable a material as limestone. We actually have to get up to 7/7 before this starts to flow properly, I wonder. We'll see. I mean, there's a reason I made it so deep. Just in case things worked on whole cell levels. Right, so all the beds are now installed. Missing a tunnel there, of course. Now let's check that they're all actually assigned as bedrooms and attached to the creative pumpkin. Once the doors are installed, I'll resize all these rooms to make sure they precisely fill their space. Right. But we need more doors, always need more doors. Because, like, in part I've designed this fortress in order to need lots of doors, because that way I thought the zombies would not be such a problem. I mean, to be fair, they haven't been, and the miasma has not been much of a problem, and yeah, this has generally turned out fairly well. Our major problem has been that the doors have been too narrow. So we might want to try different layouts for the non-bedroom levels. The bedrooms work quite well though. I suppose they're rather long walks. Maybe we could make them closer together. So, I cleared that level of creative pumpkin and that one. There may still be some more rooms. Like what? I could wall off those odd bits, but on the other hand, oh yeah, it feels impolite to do otherwise, really. Even though I think I have to do this quite carefully. Actually have any limestone blocks available, and it's not really a problem if we use other materials. Like I randomly made some earthenware bricks. Yes, we do actually also need So that one's not even a bedroom yet. I'll fix that once it has its walls in place. Okay, yes, well, one reason why we didn't have enough bedrooms might be because I had never actually assigned these rooms as bedrooms after building them. But yet, had I any of them? Well, this is definitely going to make the fortress have more free space if it turns out there was an entire floor of an entire residential floor. What? Residential floor I hadn't actually made available for occupation. Quickly checking I haven't lost all my bedrooms, but no, it does just appear to be this floor. I might want to worry about why that kitten died in a moment. Not anything to fill in that gap with. Like blocks preferably, of a uninteresting material. I think I need to wait for our block construction job to finish. So those two rooms I'll designate once we've finished building their walls. Right, well that should improve the accommodation situation a bit. Still, we've also tidied things up in that the Creative Pumpkin now has all its rooms on the same floor where I can find them. And 4 of them are still unassigned, which is nice. So now what's going on here? We're all constructing things, good. Masterpiece limestone door, well let's install it somewhere then. Yes. So this square now is 7 of 7 and it still hasn't flowed up there. Not totally worried yet, but I'd quite like the water to start moving soon. What's everyone doing anyway? Eating, drinking, sleeping, moving things around. Firing a catapult, filling a pond. Professional siege operator. Still presumably scarier than that in something bizarre. efficient speaker. More doors. Right, so now we have some proper hydrostatics working, and that one is at 2/7 water and that one is at 7/7 water. So now as water gets poured in here, it turns up here, which is a good start. It'll take a little while longer before this sorts itself out properly, but I think in particular the U-bend is now properly sealed, at least. No weird gases are going to get in. We'll see if I'd like to keep pouring water into it until some of it comes out in the caverns, just to prove that it's working properly. What's the food and drink situation? Ooh, don't like that drink situation. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not what I want. Anything that's brewable is dedicated only to brewing, so particular, you're not allowed to cook plump helmets anymore, are you? No. Because that loses us the seeds, which is a problem. Or the spawn, rather. How is our plump helmet farm going? It's got a reasonable number of working squares still. Is that a random corpse in the entranceway? We should fix that. People are going to be getting annoyed with that. Yes. We also appear to have at least 2 copies of Dreams of Animal Remedies. We traditionally have a pig tied up here as well. I mean, we may need to slaughter some more pigs soon, just to make some space and get some more bones. We've got a decent amount of ammo in stock still. Quite a lot. I suspect that most of it is in reasonably sensible places too. Here's someone gradually pouring it into if I follow you, are you going to pick up some more crossbow bolts from somewhere? Maybe. Suffering from a pathing disaster. Ooh, it is winter. So no sign of the usual autumn visit from the mountain homes. No trade caravan, no outpost liaison. I mean, this does worry me a little. Like, is anyone ever going to come and visit us again? I presume our civilization still exists. Try to have a look around and work out whether it does, but yes, I mean, like, it's not like the scholars are afraid to turn up. It's just no one wants to trade with us anymore. And yes, we have, for broad values of we, namely the local zombie rhinoceroses, we have killed an awful lot of traders, but it still seems a bit silly that they won't send more, kind of. So, like, we can see who the civilizations we know about are. We are the Stake of Echoes. So we are nominally... So we don't know of any human civilizations, or at least not that we've had contact with. And we're at war with the occult clan. But the Stake of Echoes should still exist. It does have an outpost liaison. Who is presumably still alive. I mean, that's very nice. It mostly tells us about all of our artifacts. So that suggests that there are things that we think are ours. Like this, claimed by your local government, but we think that's actually in Nosetools. But here's an object there are a bunch of artifacts believed to belong, that are claimed by a local family that we don't possess. There's something that we've seen in purple silvers. Most of them are location unknown. That surely anyone called Wear Monitor ? Is long dead, or possibly is a zombie, I suppose. Might be able to make the world go faster by clearing out things. No, there isn't a clearing out caverns a bit, but no, there aren't any So whoever that local is, they don't actually appear on my list. Is there anything we know the location of that's claimed by that's somewhere vaguely reasonable? So can I then create a mission to recover that? Send the tongs of competing on it. And see what happens. Any room that has all of its doors we should then resize to fit properly. Very few of these rooms have all of their doors. That one's already the correct shape, I think. No, I didn't mean free stoked. Sorry, whoever had that room, you've just lost it because I'm stoked. Oh dear, more kittens. So, this floor, we were still patching up the walls, weren't we? Have you got any blocks to patch the walls up with properly yet? Now, what happened to my... limestone blocks job? It hasn't been validated yet. Is my manager busy doing other stuff? I mean, this isn't a serious problem. We have plenty of other stoneworking to be getting on with. And particularly continuing cabinet construction. I think all the bedrooms on that floor now have cabinets. All the bedrooms on that floor now have cabinets. Leave the one which we only just assigned actual bedrooms on. So this square is now filled up to 7 of 7. That square is filled up to 7 of 7. I think the water should start emerging into the caverns reasonably soon. And that will prove that our U-bend works properly, and then I can stop filling it with water. Because obviously once the water's coming out into the caverns, it's not like we can do anything more with it then. No. Still need more doors. We do have a manager, don't we? Yes. It's also the mayor. For the life of me, I remember what their underlying profession was, mind. I've lost them. There. Should remember the name. Find it kind of amusing that the unique titles, oh there we are alright, you're busy constructing buildings, yes I see, are listed with a lowercase letter, where the non-unique ones are listed with an uppercase letter, which is not how I think proper nouns are meant to work. The reason why the manager is not sorting out scheduling construction of blocks is because they're busy installing furniture. We're missing a door there as well. All this clothing left lying around. I'm going to leave socks lying around unowned. And damaged. I'm going to have them disposed of. Especially if they're covered in forgotten beast extract. Because that probably means they're slightly dangerous. Right, still waiting for more doors to be produced. No, do not keep rotten pig tripe in your bedroom. Will not go well. Right, so I think for the water to actually flow out there, this square needs to be at 7 of 7 as well. So that will take a little while longer. Oh, I'm slightly worried that people are eating unprepared food. Do we have a shortage of prepared food? It doesn't look like we have a shortage of prepared food. Do only have 20 prepared meals in stock, which is a bit worrying. So why do we have 446 other food? Because I thought the main kind of other food you could have was prepared meals. But we have almost no prepared meals in stock. Yes, I'm being inobservant. No. Meat 332. Glob 416. Is actually almost all of our food tallow? I mean, I don't really want to be turning that into meals anyway. I mean, that does rather suggest that we can make more soap than we can ever possibly use. Out of curiosity, do we actually have an excess of soap at the moment? Got enough soap, we could make some more. What's that? What's that room, indeed? So a random iron anvil and some bins with some stuff in. Oh well. So we've got plenty of meat. There is no meat shortage. We do have a prepare lavish meal repeating job, and someone is actually doing it. So, like, we certainly shouldn't be running short of food. Wonder if there's something like we don't actually have any really good cooks at the moment, and so the cooks we have got are spending ages on it and not able to go at a decent speed. An adept cook. Not bad. I mean, like, there's no actual danger that anyone's going to starve because they'll just eat raw meat. But they'll be happier if they're not eating raw meat. Now, that's another 6 prepared pig heart roasts. Will keep people fed for a bit longer. Maybe part of the problem is that we're scheduling. Oh, are we now suffering a problem that our manager's too busy? No, because I don't think the. So that one has switched to checking again. That probably means it has to wait a day. Maybe we're just not running those jobs fast enough. And I need to increase the number of jobs we run in a batch. Right, do 10 at a time instead of 1 at a time. No, we don't want both of those requirements, do we? We just want unrotten cookable solid items. Let's for now leave both of them enabled, and we'll turn off the 1 once we've got the 10 going properly. Like, it is notable that that job is not currently running, presumably because we're waiting for the next day. Those guys are having fun. While we were faffing around with that, have we got some more doors available? Yes, no. Stoked. You know, there is someone designated to go and play with the catapult. Good. They're just not in the right place for it. Twang. Right. Oh, the blocks coming along. They're at least scheduled. Still finding it hard to keep the mason's workshop supplied with stone. I presume the uninvited guest is still around. Yes. You may one day want to try to deal with it. The tongs of competing have returned. The mission report appears to say nothing at all. Not the most helpful mission report, you know. Here's Eat going to bed. Well, yes, I will stop and go to bed fairly soon, but I want to do a little more tidying up. I'm kind of alarmed by the way that one of my Mark dwarves appears to be shooting through another one in order to hit the zombies, but like they are doing it. They are an elite Mark dwarf, so they may be competent. Right, so now, once we get a noticeable amount more water poured in there, it will actually... currently the most crowded place in the fortress appears to be the temple. Even though there aren't that many people meditating or praying at the moment. Just quickly checking if there were any excess of store item in tomb jobs. On you guys, make some more doors. Do I need to schedule some more glass doors to be made, because those are the ones that we can most quickly construct. Right, evidence that our U-bend works. Water has emerged here, which it can only do by flowing all the way through the system. So I think that means I can now remove that pond. It's going to turn out I've got no spare floor grates, isn't it? Yes. And then install a floor grate there. No. Because for some reason floor grates are on H and hatch covers are on G. I think that might be a mistake. Looks like we might have a bit of a shortage of glass makers, if there's no one actually assigning themselves to this glass making job. I think we have an actual peasant here. Oh, right, peasants are not people we can, are not citizens, which is why we can't give them glass making jobs. You, on the other hand, are a citizen and can learn glass making. And apparently our pig situation is getting more and more silly. And several of them appear to be injured. Perhaps we should just euthanize the injured ones. What's going on with the food job? So that food job is now properly set up. So I think we can now remove the make one lavish meal job. With the idea being that one will do rather better because it will get scheduled more efficiently. So it has, I think it's just completed one. Just as a matter of policy, I try not to cook tallow. I feel that it's not the kind of thing that's actually meant for dwarven consumption. Phrase interrupted by rhinoceros corpse is still alarming, even though I know it's safe in this case. Though, let's just check. Yeah. The voracious cave crawler corpse is all the way down there. And while maybe at some point we should investigate the lower caverns, it may not be the thing to do right now. Almost all of the doors are installed. How are doors such a problem? I actually have someone who is a competent glassmaker. That's nice. What do you make out of earthenware anyway? Is there actually much that's any good? Really very few things. You can make statues and crafts and hives and large clay pots which leak and jugs and bits of musical instrument, and that's about it. Kiln was probably an extravagance. Well, except that we needed it to make pearl ash to make clear glass. Still haven't got a grate. Come on. You keep slipping into depression. We have some blocks, limestone blocks now. We have slightly curiously got a phenomenal quantity of tables and chairs. I think because I kind of was, oh, we should probably equip the new dining room, and I haven't got around to it. We're making blocks right now. Excellent. I feel that a necromancer should be able to find better things to do than being a peddler somehow. The taut leaps are visiting. Well, I will check whether we have any space in the Creative Pumpkin. Now, all of the Creative Pumpkin's rooms are currently occupied. So much though I would love to invite the Taut Leaps to stay, we have strict limits on how fast we're willing to take new performers. I have a stock of blocks, which means I can wall in some of the awkward gaps on this floor. The weird one down here, wasn't there? Yes. I think that's it. I think all the other walls are in their correct places. So once those walls have been installed, we can then make sure that all of these are proper bedrooms. Have we got that grating available yet? No. So these blocks are being carried in. Right, so now those can be assigned as proper bedrooms because they have all their walls. Still one more bit of wall needed to be installed there. I'm sure someone will be along in a moment to deal with it. Here they come. Just noticing here that there's a bit of unsmoothed wall in that bedroom, which is not really appropriate. Taught Leaps wish to reside? No, because we have no spare bedrooms for you. Sorry. Even though you had a good name. So that can also be a bedroom. Right. We have a reasonable number of unoccupied bedrooms. So all of the modest quarters, which are the ones available to the Creative Pumpkin, are not available. Come on, someone, throw away that rotten pig tripe. Right, so we're still waiting for a few doors up here, aren't we? Yes. Grate got built, which means we should be able to install it. Great. Where's it gone then? Oh, I accidentally built a floodgate. Well, that wasn't very helpful, was it? L is a grate, not G. Oh well, we have a spare floodgate in case I ever need one. I'd just like to finish off these bedrooms and then we will stop for the night unless something really exciting happens. Discuss diseases. Oh, immigrants identified as peddlers are actually agents from your own civilization. I'm not sure if that includes visitors sometimes. I think the visitors are probably not agents from my own civilization. Ah, we've made a floor grate, apparently. So let's just check that this is correct. So that square there is entirely full of water, and therefore there is no way that any dubious gases from outside or powders or whatever can get through, because they would have to go all the way through all that water. So yes, that is fine. So well, I'm not worried about monsters coming through here, because any monster will be unable to get through these fortifications unless something actually pushes them through, like flowing water, but that would have to be flowing inwards. So no, I'm not worried about any monsters being able to get through there, because the fortifications should keep them out, and contaminants will be kept out by the water, which only ever flows outwards. Not that it's flowing at all. But this should still deal with any accidental flooding. Atto Kingdom water, okay. We currently have no jobs at all. Well, let's make you a gratuitous siege operator. And I haven't actually checked whether there's no one currently operating siege engines, but there is currently someone operating siege engines. Well, that'll be fine. Still a bit of a shortage of prepared meals. I think it's getting better, but many more doors am I going to need? 1, 2, 3. Almost finished the doors on this level then. And that's if there isn't one already there, which I can't see because someone's dropped some armour in it. It's not. That's what I get for assigning a room. That's why rooms don't include their own doors, even though that's kind of irritating. Bloody goths. That's kind of irritating to... because it means the value of a room doesn't include the value of its doors. But obviously if the room does include the doors, then people go and dump their belongings in the doorway and jam the door open. So it's kind of nice to know why that's happening now, even though it's still mildly irritating. Metal cage. We don't like metal cages. Melt that metal cage down. Melt it down. Quickly exploring whether everything is correctly designated in the right shape. We should also quickly glance at whether they're also assigned to the creative pumpkin. So it should be. Yes, good. So we're now one door short. You'd have thought that I haven't been deliberately taming naked mole dogs for ages. Why are there still naked mole dogs around that are tame? Just want one more door, and I might install some more cabinets if you've got some. But I think that was the one I just sorted out already, yes. Ah! Right, that's every door on this level designated. Now let's just check all of the rooms are the correct shape. So they should all not extend out to the squares on either side of their doors, not include the doors themselves. And they should all be assigned to the Creative Pumpkin. That's a bit weird. I wasn't paying quite enough attention to whether they are all assigned to the Creative Pumpkin. Yes. Right, good. Right, those are all correctly set up. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, which is the number of rooms that the Creative Pumpkin has. So does the Creative Pumpkin really want like a box to create things, to store things in? We could give it one of those. That room doesn't have any furniture in either. How very curious. Let's put the new box somewhere near the entrance. Checking if we have anything really valuable as a chest. That one's rather nice. That would at least give the Creative Pumpkin somewhere to store things. Right. So there is a bunch of stuff going on, but I think I've accomplished the one thing I set out to do, which was making the drainage system a bit better. I found 24 bedrooms I didn't know I had. I've made another 24 bedrooms. I've arranged things so that the Creative Pumpkin now controls a coherent set of bedrooms. So all of that is kind of good. And some doors are being installed at the moment, and we still have a bit of a shortage of anything really scary. Like, well, the giant skinless gecko is still kicking around, but they can't get into the main fort. We have a dwarf poet death zombie, but they're actually just a goth. Visitor has come to perform. Oh, if we've made any more doors, I could fit that missing door from the there we go. On that level, right? And yes, no one has died recently at all. Everything is kind of happy. If it stays this happy for much longer, I'll have to start doing something foolish. Not quite sure what yet. Let's leave things idling on a different floor from usual, on the incredibly overpopulated floor. So yes, that's going well, and we have a bunch of people who are now dedicated siege operators, so they will spend... Oh, ghost, sorry, can't stop yet. Guzil Noxam is a ghost, and we should deal with that while we remember that they're there. And I'll at least set their slab an engraving. Oops. I have, of course, completely forgotten the name. I assume we can make her. This will tell me if they're a ghost I know about. So sometimes you can, I believe, get ghosts of people you don't actually know anything about, which makes it kind of hard to memorialise them. Someone is paying attention. Back to page 1. Hang on, let's just do that again. I'm not sure that is page 1, excuse me. Oh yes, I know how I get to page 1. That's not page 1, because there's an arrow right at the top of the screen that tells me which page I'm on. At least I think that green arrow at the top of the screen tells me I'm not yet on the first page. Right, here's the first page. Carol Dagos Mafol? That sounds right. Well, let's schedule that and then just check the name. No, Kadol Guzil Noxam, right, Kadol Guzil Noxam. There they are, right. They're not labelled as a ghost, even though we know they're a ghost. Well, let's engrave a thing for them anyway. This is the right one, isn't it? Yes. So, okay, that will then mean that there is a slab, and then I'll notice them again in the next session and go, oh yes, I should install that slab. But that's fine. Right, so where were we? Yes. I was about to save and say things are going all right. They were on page 1, yes. But still, usually when someone's there, it kind of says, oh yes, this is a ghost. Maybe I need to do that or something to find out that I need to properly memorialise them. No, it still just lists them as not memorialised. Oh well. Right, so yes, now, stopping, yes, really. All is not entirely well, but it's pretty close, apart from the fact that people keep getting depressed because they can't worship enough gods. But I don't know that there's much I can do about that. And the dining room's kind of crowded too. Right, so good night all, and we will see you again probably on Friday, and I've still got a quarter of a slice of cake to eat. Hooray! Good night.